Daniel Guimera went through a very arduous process of looking at urban planning and urban sprawl, and he has a lot of insight and perspective that he's going to share with you on that subject now. Daniel?
Thank you, Patrick. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm Daniel Guimera, and my idols are Jane Jacobs, William White, and Christopher Alexander. But this morning, I'm going to read you a quote from comedian George Carlin. Have you taken a look at America lately? It's embarrassing. We have taken this beautiful place and turned it into a shopping mall. Mile after mile, mall after mall, major malls and mini malls. They put the mini malls in between the major malls. And in between the mini malls, they put the mini marts. And in between the mini marts, you got the car lots, the gas stations, muffler shops, laundromats, cheap hotels, fast food joints, strip clubs, and dairy bookstores. America the Beautiful is one big transcontinental commercial cesspool. That is a little bit over the top, but in essence, those are the effects of urban sprawl. That's what has happened to us in the last 60 years. And urban sprawl is a result of the auto-oriented development of our cities in the last 60 years that has resulted in fragmented bedroom communities with lots of commuters. We used to design livable, walkable, vibrant cities like Florence, Italy, with at least 150 intersections within a square mile. Cities that had storefronts at street levels and residences and offices above, with open spaces at walking distance. But instead, we have designed cities that led cities like urban California with only 15 intersections in a square mile. And this has led basically to suburbia, which is bedroom communities isolated from the rest of the city. And on top of that, we Americans drive 8,700 hours during our lifetimes just to go to work. And we spend up to 32% of our budgets, of our income, in transportation. So there goes the idea of driving till we qualify for our mortgages. Are you depressed? Well, don't despair. I have good news. Let's reimagine our fragmented cities and neighborhoods through a design blueprint for healthy communities and to reclaim the public realm, improve connectivity and mobility. Urban cores within these suburban places will comprise a more livable, walkable, and vibrant city. This vision activates 4 different goals. The first goal is to enable urban cores within suburbia by redeveloping and achieving shopping malls with large parking lots and also vacant lots into mixed-use, live-work complexes and to mitigate sprawl. And also at a smaller scale, it converts underutilized streets into pedestrian plazas. Goal number 2 enables mobility in suburbia by providing infrastructure for regional light rail and local bus system. And then the third goal is to provide mobility for bicycle and pedestrians by establishing an infrastructure of buffer bike corridors and a bike sharing system. And the last goal is to bring nature to people and people to nature by reclaiming utility and river corridors and establishing urban farming, olive groves, green belts, wildlife corridors, and more. Through my, the site that I selected is the North Valley region, the North region of the San Fernando Valley. which is a 31 square mile area in the city of Los Angeles, north of Los Angeles, and is comprised of the communities of Porter Ranch, Granada Hills, and Northridge. These are definitely bedroom communities, and they meet all my site criteria, and these communities are adjacent to utility and river corridors, plus the fact that they have a large number of commuters. Through my concept development, I developed a pattern language of typologies, of 64 typologies, that includes things like vacant lots, utility corridors, and 62 other typologies that I will not tell you. You can come and look at them. But these typologies inform my concept diagram. And my concept diagram is driven by the 4 goals, the typologies, and the program. And the typologies is basically what drove the master plan that you see right here. Let's start with arriving to the new Orange Line light rail station, which is a 1.65 mile infrastructure investment from the existing Orange Line in Chatsworth to reach to Porter Ranch. Once you disembark from your light rail vessel, you will have arrived to downtown Porter Ranch, which is right here. And this is a 108-acre site. It's comprised of an underachieving shopping center, which is 54 acres. You can see the large parking lot right there, which many times is half empty. The other half of the site is vacant land, is another 54 acres. So the total is 108 acres for the project. This has the Central Axis Civic Plaza, Los Olivos Grand Park, other pocket parks, urban farming, olive groves, the academy, the Porter Academy, and other features that I will talk about. So as you descend from your light rail right here at the station, you will have arrived. You can go to the City Hall, which is located at the south end of the Civic Center. You can go there and pull a permit from Building and Safety or attend the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council meeting. And after you do that, you cross Rinaldi Street and you get to the Civic Plaza. And once you're at the Civic Plaza, for example, if you're meeting a friend at the intersection of Porter Alley, you tell them that to meet you where the orange peel sculpture is located, and they'll find you. Once you're there, you have movable tables and chairs. You can sit down, read a book, have a latte, and then you know the thing about movable chairs and the importance of that is that you grab the chair, you put it in your own spot, and once you find the right place, a little bit of shade or no shade at all, you own that space, and you're looking and you're seeing what goes on around you, which means eyes on the street. It means ownership of the place, of the city, which is what we are missing right now. Right now, we go to work, we come home when it's dark, and we never spend time in our communities. This will change that. This project, this whole project provides a live work opportunity up to 20% of affordable housing, and a series of hotels. You have the community theater, the Porter Library right there. So there's a lot of amenities for the community. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to take the car. once you, if you have to take the car, we have take care of that as well. For example, right now, this site has allocated 16 acres of parking. So based on my calculations, there's about 2,500 parking spaces in there. And we have taken that out and converted that into a live work environment. All the parking will be underground, and we have allocated 75 acres of underground parking, and it provides over 9,300 parking spaces for residents and visitors. And all the parking structures are located where there's no landscape. So none of the parking spaces are located on top of a park or a landscape area. All the parking structures are two-level structures and located below buildings. So after you finish your latte and reading the book that you borrow at the library, you go pick up Junior at the Porter, where is the school? I lost it. Right here. You go pick up Junior at the school, and then you take him to drama classes at the community theater. And if it's a Tuesday afternoon, you can go to the farmer's market, which is located on Porter Alley, and you can get some fresh organic vegetables and fruits that are grown in our urban farms located right here. And this is sort of a community. I have precedents for this that work very well. You have to have an ownership in it in order for this to work. So you have to be a member of the community garden. At night, Porter Alley lights up. If you're staying at the Flatiron boutique hotel, you can go down Porter Alley, have dinner at many of the wonderful restaurants there. There's a lot of outdoor dining, as you can see right here and there. And then you can watch a movie or go to the jazz festival or the entertainment anchor that is located in the property. And after that, you cap your night off at the Flatiron Boutique Hotel, at the Sky Bar, Cafe and Martini Bar. Okay, so after drama class, you take Junior to the splash pad at the Olivos Grand Park, and while he's playing there, you are sitting and mingling with the other adults at the many different places that we have set up for you. There's an amphitheater. This is the place for the annual olive harvest. Based on my calculations, I have set up approximately, I will have 2,750 olive trees in about 15 acres, divided not only here in this complex that you can see right there, but also at the grid line, which is a 7 mile long by 240 feet wide utility corridor that right now is only used for some nurseries, use some of the places. And those will stay, but the rest of it will be a multi-purpose trail system, and will have urban farming and olive groves. Because of the power lines, we cannot place tall trees in there. So the olive groves are the perfect solution for that. But then there's also the Wilbur Wash Creek, which is, you can see, so the utility corridor runs all the way through here, and then the Wilbur Wash runs through here, and they both meet at the metro station located in Northridge. So that's another added benefit for people that want to go with their bikes to the metro station. They can do that. But this right here, this section right here will be an urban forest. We don't have the constraint of the power lines there, so we can plant a lot of trees. And each one of these, once they mature, once of these trees will be able to sequester approximately 4,500 pounds of carbon dioxide. So that's a really good thing. The other intervention, which is taking an underutilized street and turning it into a pedestrian plaza. This is located in Chatsworth and Celsa in Granada Hills South. Right now, they have a certain degree of walkability there, but one of the things that they are missing is when they get there, they don't have a place to stay and enjoy the area. So for example, on Friday nights, food trucks, people are just standing. They don't have a place to sit down. Well, this will change that. We'll have the movable tables and chairs. We'll also have the farmers market. By the way, the Porter Ranch Farmers Market is proposed for Tuesdays to complement the Wednesday Northridge Farmers Market and the Thursdays Granada Hills Farmers Market. Home is the place, and this is it to conclude. Home is the place where the urban core is located, where we spend most of the time, in place and over time. The North Valley Region project will be a catalyst for the rest of the city and beyond. Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions or comments?
We're here.
Mr. Smith?
You started out with a really great concept. How did you solve the issues you brought up of the red square?
It first started with a half-mile radio neighborhood, and I was stuck with the idea of having a certain size for what the urban core should be. And over the process, the concept process and the site analysis, because I researched other areas as well, including Boyle Heights and Pacoima, I came up with the answer that the urban core actually doesn't have to have an exclusive size. It could be as big as 108 acres, or it could be as small as this pedestrian plaza, because that activates other activities.
What I'm asking you is
Yes.
how did you weave that concept into the red square? The red square is much bigger in geographic area and has a whole litany of issues that you brought up. This got very site specific, and it's on the other side of the whatever freeway that is.
118 freeway. Yes.
So my concern is, big idea, tough area to implement it, but you need to take a shot at it.
That's the big idea without the site.
Yeah, but the site's the red square.
No, the site is everything.
You said the red square is the place where the issues are.
No, well, the red square is where I'm activating the urban core. So different areas, and you can see here how I found different places, different nodes where my concept can be applied in the North Valley.
Of that grid that you didn't address. I mean, you have institutional things, you have Cal State Northridge, you have all these things that
Yes,
are the core of
that's
a
true.
community that you could activate. A lot of religious facilities in that area.
Correct.
And there's no linkage or, and plus the transportation, and I get that, you're kind of addressing that. But the woven fabric of this area that you identified as needing assistance in creating urban fabric and live work is another thing that he knows how to implement that. This is one site specific. Could that be then adapted to other focal points within this grid that you've identified to weave this place together?
Yes,
those?
there's actually a connection because, for example, you have, this is the site that I spoke about. Then there's another site located in Northridge, I'm
But
sorry.
you didn't show it, is my point. You needed a big idea, connectivity plan. We talked about this in the other one with the green linkages and so on. If you're going to attack a big idea, you've got to give us an idea what the concept would be as it moves forward.
Yeah,
You got very specific design need with one place.
right. If you look at the master plan here, I identify areas that are very important, like the church. This church is very important to Porter Ranch because the 4th of July, they have an event where thousands of people come from all over the place to celebrate 4th of July. And we need a space that we don't have right now for all those people that are coming to be able to see the fireworks. Right now, what they do is they line up the streets, they block traffic for residents in the area. You can't go anywhere. On the 4th of July, if you're home, you better stay home. But so this right here offers several solutions. It offers large, adaptable open spaces like Los Olivos Grand Park, like the Civic Plaza. It offers a lot of parking, underground parking for people that come from all over the place. And so this actually ties up to the existing institutions, which are the church, the YMCA, and other places. And also, I have the school here, which has a aquatic community center right there. It has basketball and tennis courts, multi-purpose athletic fields, and there's a lot of stuff that I left out because of the time constraint. But this is it. When I plan this project, when I build it, at least I build it on SketchUp, I looked at all the details.
What's the southerly edge of this greater geographic area you're targeting?
The metro station.
And what's the first street above that?
So this is Nordoff, right there.
Nordoff. So you got Nordoff to the 118, that big community. There's probably
This
300 churches and synagogues within that area by itself.
Yeah,
So just this one spot could be translated into those.
absolutely. And I
I'd like to see
identify
a
the
master
areas.
plan of how that would work before you get site specific, that's all.
Yeah, the red places, and I wrote here, these are different phases of the project. Phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5. It identifies all the places, all the nodes that the same thing that I did there can be applied to all these other places. Of course, each place is different, and this might not work in other areas, but the concept is adaptable to all those nodes.
Okay. Andy?
I love your graphics. It reads really well from where I'm sitting. I think the project looks great. I just have one question, I guess, for you. I'm a little concerned about the parking. You're saying it's all underground, and you've got buildings on top and all this kind of stuff. But this is in Northwood, right?
Porter Ranch.
Porter Ranch. But not that long ago, in the 1980s, 90s, whatever it was, we had Northridge earthquake, and all your parking's underground. How are you addressing emergency vehicles and people being able to escape out of these parking garages?
There's several entrances and exits from all the parking structures, and of course these structures have to be built to code to sustain a large earthquake. I also have alternate design ideas for above ground parking that you don't see on the boards, but they will be on the book, which basically means locating parking structures at different areas within the project. And so that's an alternative as well.
Okay. One other question that I had is that when you're talking about live work, depending upon the uses of the ground floor units themselves, mainly delivery trucks and things like that, how are you addressing those issues?
So the circulation, which you can see the circulation right here, I know it's a small. The master plan actually addresses the circulation regionally, but here's the circulation which shows vehicular, pedestrian, bike, and also buses, local buses and regional buses. But to answer your question is, so here's Main Street that goes all the way through. Then you have Rinaldi, which is the major road. And then you have Porter Ranch Road, which is an existing road, and you have Corbin Avenue right there. This right here is pedestrian only. But for all these, for deliveries, obviously deliveries have to be done early, as is done in many other places, as to mitigate that issue of proximity to shops. But there is access also through underground parking.
I just, again, when we're talking about live work,
Yes.
you have the noises of trucks backing up with the ding, 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 and
Right.
So I mean, again, those kind of things are problematic, with this particular layout. But I do think that this is a great design solution, and I'm sure those are things, little minor details that we worked out.
And by the way, to follow up with that, Andy, right now they're already, you hear the trucks, backing up all over the place, because this right here is an anchor store that I didn't remove from the project. The project, we took out some of the existing areas and relocated throughout the center. But these are the anchors, the existing anchors. This is Walmart right there. So you have already trucks backing up at all hours of the day. And that's an issue. And the location of the park is sort of to mitigate that huge big box structure located there. This is sort of like to counter that.
So if the Walmart's existing,
Yes.
and you're not putting parking underneath any area that's got planting,
There's parking right there and right there, which is right next. All of this is parking below, and all of this
for the Walmart.
For the Walmart and for other activities.
Okay. Great, thank you.
And one of the things that I didn't mention is that demographics are changing. And there's two factors about that. The first one is that young emerging professionals, they finished college, they graduated, now they have this huge payment that they have to pay off from college, and they cannot afford to buy a single family home, but they want to live in a vibrant place. Maybe they can afford to buy something smaller, or they can simply rent a studio or a loft. The idea is that a lot of people, 25 to 35 years old, they not necessarily want to live in a single family home, which uses a lot of energy, consumes a lot of energy. And the other thing is that senior citizens, and I talked to a lot of senior citizens when I attended the Granada Hills South and the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council, they all want this because they don't want to live with other senior citizens. They want to live in a vibrant place where they are mixed, where they have walkable activities that they can do, like go to the restaurant, go to the market, but they just want to be able to walk, because many of them not necessarily drive. And so this is those are the two demographics that might work here.
Okay.
I just want to get some clarification. Your site is the existing shopping mall? Okay.
Yes, and plus the vacant land. So these 54 acres is the existing site, and then these other 54 acres is the vacant lot. And I forgot to tell you something, that out of the 108 acres, 54 acres are dedicated to open space. So all of these, all of that, all of this, it's 54 acres of open space reclaiming the public realm for the people.
Okay, so what I wanted to know, wait, I lost my question.
Sorry.
Where were we? Oh, what of these buildings are existing?
The existing buildings, okay, so the existing buildings that are staying are the ones that have the W. So this right here, this and that. That's it. And of course, I identify areas that I'm not touching because this is a private property that I'm not touching. This belongs to the church, and these are medical offices.
Okay. And so then my big question is, how have you designed this to be unique and appropriate to this location, and to this community?
I have lived in this community for over 21 years. And I've seen this community become more and more isolated as far as you meeting with your neighbors and meeting with your friends. And basically your friends, you have to drive to your friend's house. And the way this addresses that is that right now there's a lot of telecommuters, people that work out of their home. And yes,
She's asking me,
yes,
how did this site,
yes.
drive you to this site design? This site.
Oh, just
The
a
ground
specific.
plane, the people
Oh,
around it.
Because it looks
the
to me like
freeway.
this could be applied to any place. So I'm just wondering, what makes this Porter Ranch? What makes this appropriate to this particular site?
responding to the history of the place of Porter Ranch, Northridge, and Granada Hills, most of this land used to be orange groves and olive groves. And back in the late 1800s and early 1900s. In fact, in the 1940s, you could still buy homes that had their own orange groves, and in Granada Hills. In fact, where the plaza, the pedestrian plaza is located, that was an orange grove right there.
So do you have any orange trees?
We have olive groves, and we have some citrus groves at the grid line, which is the utility corridor. That's where I place the citrus. But the olive groves are a very important component of the project. One of the reasons is because they are low maintenance. There's not a lot of activity around them, because here you have residences right there. So the olive groves are placed right there. Not too many people will be there except for when it's the annual harvest. And that was so I took into consideration the adjacencies as far as the programming of the site.
One of the things that would have been helpful to me, and I spent a lot of time reading your legend and trying to see which thing was which, would have been a plan that was, I'm going to say, color-coded by use. Orange buildings mean something, and purple means
Right,
something.
rather than just legend.
Because what's T here?
Yes, I know.
But to Meg's point, if it's supposed to connect and all of that, is there no possibility to connect to the road between the D and the E and the olive grove at the north end to the road that exists?
Which one? I'm sorry.
The olive grove, up in the top.
Okay, there's a road right there.
No, up into that neighborhood, would there be any reason to
Oh,
do
this
that?
is a private gated community. Yeah,
So one of your challenges is that you haven't brought up is that a lot of this, it is what it is.
exactly, and that's addressed right here. That's why this transit informed.
No, I mean,
yeah.
in your plan, you haven't, I'm not sure you've addressed See, I now know that's a gated community.
Yes.
And I've been sitting here
Gated,
wondering.
gated. So the idea, when I did that transit, the thought was, how do I make this impossible situation better? Because the gated communities are what they are. But one of the things is that if by looking at this transit, all of a sudden, all these people that live here are at walkable distance from most amenities. So they are still in suburbia, but but suburbia now has an urban core.
So how does this not be what I'll call a little Playa Vista?
What?
A little Playa Vista. And I've worked on Playa Vista, so I'm not cracking
Insular
it.
area.
I mean, it's a piece of itself, and Playa is walkable, but people drive to work because
Right.
it really isn't live, work, and play there.
But this is very open. The central axis of the civic center and plaza, it opens up, it's open to everybody, just like the park. The park is open. Most of the traffic of people coming from different areas, people that don't live in the area, will drive through Rinaldi. They will see this park, and they will be drawn to the park.
The parks in Playa are public, maintained by the community, but public. And there's a wetland that you can walk along, and there's a sports. So there's all those. I want to know what made this different.
What makes it different is that there's a lot of annual activities here. As I mentioned before, the 4th of July, people from other areas come here, and now they will have 2 large areas to spend the whole day because they come early so that they can grab a right spot. They'll be able to be here and there and spend the whole day, and also that means that the businesses in the area will be benefited by that. And it's not just the 4th of July. You have Easter, you have Christmas. The church organizes large events for the Easter. They set up a tent right here that they could still do. They could set up a tent right there, or they could set up a tent right there.
Alright.
But we're running over a lot on these, and I really would like us to stay on time.
Okay, so
Thank you.
I've got a timer here. I'll pay closer attention to that. All right, thank you very much. Come up and live in the board.
Thank you.